Originally, this entire review was going to be trying to be produced and done as an entire solo review episode for itself. But I realized it's not good as itself as a full episode, so I heavily condensed and chopped everything up into a segment. And the segment is going to be titled very similarly, but not so much exactly to what the episode was going to be titled. So basically, the segment here is titled The Fear of 13, Aftermath, and Review of Such Things. As of recording this episode, I immediately have entered into the apartment and recanting my experience and review and basically as listed aftermath after seeing a 2 p.m. matinee Broadway show of Adrian Broidy's newest project on Broadway, The Fear of the 13. So I'm going to run down the basic story from how I perceived it, from entering online, getting into the theater, the production, and everything else. But before I do that, I'd like to say a lot of the works over the years Adrian Brody has put into the world heavily fascinate me. Not necessarily his work he's done with Wes Anderson, but other projects such as Houdini with the History Channel. And there's a bunch of, from the early or mid-2000s, from like 2004 to 7, Adrian Brody was the lead in a bunch of, I would say, fantasy dream-like films. The one of them, I'm forgetting the name of it on my mind. Ugh, that was a neuro way of putting it. Basically, I'm trying to say the film I'm thinking about right now, can't remember the name of it. I'm not going to ruin momentum. Googling it and pausing. But the story was about a guy who keeps dying and coming back to life. But whenever he comes back to life, it's basically a sort of implied time travel to correct the situation before he died last time. Basically trying real hard at the time to cash into that Neil Gaiman aesthetic / Johnny Depp aesthetic from Tim Burton, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I myself am not very into Broadway theater at all. I will admit I've seen the Book of Mormon 4 times strictly for studying the aspect of what the guys from South Park, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, did and presented to the world. What I can tell you is that I've never seen Avenue Q, but recently I was able to obtain on the internet very high production quality pirated, like secretly filmed Broadway performances, both of the Book of Mormon and 2 different versions of Avenue Q. Nonetheless, getting back to the main narrative about Adrian Brody's play, The Fear of the 13. So I'm online. Let me just rewind a few minutes in the story before I got online to enter the theater. I was looking at this one file I already had out. It was not near any of the other ones. It was standing on its own. It started at the top with just endless amounts of names of people and companies that were listed and credited to the play itself. Then it drops down with like some design stuff, like wingding type of stuff, if you know what I mean, with graphics, like to really pinpoint what was written underneath the wingding stuff, or wingdings, dings, whatever they're called, in a full cap lock saying, in association with the Dahmer Warehouse, present Adrian Brody. So after all the wingding stuff, it's not, looking at the photo and everything. It's not very grammatically correct, but it gets the information across. So the line, let's just say for now, line 1 says, in association with the Dahmer Warehouse. Line 2 then goes, presents Adrian Brody in. Line 3, The Fear of 13. Line 4, by Lindsay Ferrentino. Line 5, based on the documentary. Line 6, directed by David Stington. I honestly don't know if that guy's a director of the play or the documentary. I've been aware of the documentary for a while now, but I admittedly have not seen it yet. That is, within the next few days, my next mission, let's just say, or best way to put it, is to watch the documentary of The Fear of 13 that later became this very particular play I saw. So now, let's go back to where I originally started, where I'm online. Outside the theater, they have promotional flyers that had been curated, designed, and positioned so that one's own eye could process the play's information. So in other words, the following text was basically tastefully slapped onto the various flyers. So if you focused with the correct perspective while positioned on the street and or sidewalk, the various flyers could be connected like a red string of conspiracy theorists saying and advertising the following. A new play by Lindsay Ferrantino, The Fear of 13, directed by David Cromer. An unbelievable true story about a crime he didn't commit. Of course, I took photos, and they'll be dropped in the next planned image dump on kirklandcomedy.com whenever I decide that's going to be. So now, focusing strictly on the story of the play regarding Nick Yarnes, a man that was wrongfully convicted and on death row in a Pennsylvania state prison for 22 years. Before Nick Yarnes was incarcerated, his life in a nutshell can be summed up like this.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. In West Philadelphia, born and raised, on the playground is where I spent most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all, shooting some b-ball outside of the school. When a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight and my mom got scared.
Anyway, enough of that shit. Enough. The play itself was marketed with the language tags and the website of it, and among other interviews, as a comedy, and it absolutely was a dark comedy. But what interests me is a lot of the flyer artwork and photography customly done to promote this play. It makes it seem like it's like a dark fucking prison film, like that French movie, The Prophet, or A Prophet, and that is some dark shit right there. This play was not that at all. I feel like, in terms of like color, language, and aesthetic, the people making this play were trying their hardest to take influence from various 70s sitcoms like Starsky and Hutch, of course, Taxi. What's also was surprising to me about the play is that the play itself was one act. And I don't know if that's common or not, but I don't think it is. Not to spoil the plot or anything, I believe right in the damn smack dab in the center of the play for its running time. I'm not going to really spoil much of the story, but they did a thing on the stage between Adrian Brody playing Nick and this woman he was talking to on the phone a lot. They had a vintage television, like one with a really big back end that weigh a fucking ton, was utilized and broadcasting on the stage during the show. Clips from Cheers as well as Seinfeld. Which interests me about the choice is when they were playing the clips on stage from Seinfeld, they only used clips focusing on George Costanza, which I think is an interesting choice because he's a bullseye, basically, more than any other characters in that show. Even more so than Kramer, because George Costanza is a short, fat fuck who wears bright, colorful sweaters. And that balding ridge, it's a bullseye. It's like a target, and you can't keep your eyes off of it. There were at least 3 different times in the play. This play absolutely is not a musical, but I was very impressed in how they utilized background extras to on 3 different occasions to sing straight up like they were original songs, but they were packaged like Southern chain gang prison songs. Something to the extent like this.
Be my woman, girl, I'll be your man. Be my woman, girl, I'll be your man. Be my woman, girl, I'll be your man. Get this $100 in your hand, Lord, in your hand.
By the way, that particular track was archived by the Smithsonian and shockingly recorded in the early 30s. And it, like, for something recorded then, sounds amazing. Another reason why I'm recording this review in the aftermath immediately within the first 5 minutes after getting into the apartment is because for myself, I don't usually retain theater, even if it's comedy, at all the same way like I do with stand-up shows or cinema. And when I mean cinema that's like amazing and fine art or straight-up trash. And that straight-up trash category is a very, very wide spectrum variety of a lot of different things that make a gumbo of trash, if you know what I mean. I don't have much else to say or add to this particular segment regarding Adrien Broidy's play, but what I'm trying to say with my logic right now, it's a little tilted from my neurological conditions. This play started out as a step 1, as a documentary. Step 2 became a play that was actually turned into a very funny theatrical comedy. I deeply believe they're going to make this play into a full-on film, like a situation compared to Orange is the New Black, which was or is a sitcom. I don't really know how to word that timing-wise because it, yes, was a decade ago, but it's still, in a lot of ways, so very relevant to today's pop culture. So that's the aftermath of Adrien Brody in The Fear of the 13. Going into this next segment is just presented ripped audio from the video I put together for fun, strictly for fun, because certain events and shows over the years I've attended, I just know, if I record it and put it together piece by piece video-wise with editing software, it's like catching lightning in a bottle, and I could feel it that night in essence. Bar, what a great name for that in general, that name of a bar. But what's a bit different is that the ripped audio is the exact same that was presented in, I guess, the documented experience it did for Steve. But this time it comes with a little addendum bonus from the director himself.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Essence Bar. I'm about to premiere this little 16-minute short film that we shot in 3 places. It would be great to mute the TVs. I'll ramble for 5 minutes, but in 5 minutes it'd be great to just have it quiet. But I just want to say, foremost, thank you to Arthur and Essence for letting us film this first one scene here. My feeling is that the movie does have a spirit and it belongs to this bar, because the other place that we filmed was the D train, and it can't belong to the D train. I also, you guys, if you want to see it, you should sit over here. But if you just want to listen to it, and look at people looking at it, that's a thing to do too. So anyway, I'm gonna hit play on this thing. Please enjoy it, and then please gather around. Yes. And please enjoy it. And then afterwards, we have Alex Payne over there who filmed it very beautifully. Very funny person. A hilarious man who belongs in front of the camera. Was sadly stuck behind the camera. But it worked. The movie benefited from it greatly. But you do sneak in at the very end there. And then, of course, Andrew Casertano, who stars in the thing. Oh, thanks. And then who's not here is the musician, is Cherry-Ann, is this other girl who's in it, is a bunch of other people. But we'll have a chance to talk about them because I've got really bad stories about some of them. So we can share those. So everyone sit down and get ready and I'll hit play. Thanks so much, Ron. Okay, here we go.
There's a window that's almost clean. If you pal around with some blurred boys, then you know what I mean. They just keep switching to southeast days, and it feels weird. Well, I never tried to justify a thing I've done. Oh, girl, I want.
an impromptu Q&A, which stands for questions and then answers. A quick Q&A and then it's back to house music. But okay, yes, Tracy.
Wow. What was the point for this movie?
In my opinion, okay, here's the prompt. It was about a guy. I mean, if you boil it down to a fortune cookie, to me, it's a guy just trying to get free, and the guy is effectively a normal guy between two. You can't really say what they are, but assholes is a clinically approved term to say. Yeah. So that to me, that's what it's about. But yeah.
And they had to get in the train in order for them to be separated.
Yeah.
But once he's separated, now he might not have any arms, but he can live his life on his own.
Exactly. He doesn't have any arms, but he's got wheels, and that's all you need. Just shake the assholes.
I didn't get none of that.
Okay. None gotten. But Beverly, I'm not being hopeful when I posit you got that, right?
I got it.
All right. So one for
Pretty
two.
much the two halves were assholes.
Oh, assholes, yeah, and he shook them.
And they really, I don't mean to see it that way, but they really did nothing to help the one in the middle. The one in the middle was normal.
Yeah.
He had a heart.
He had a heart.
The two on the end, there's some people we might know in life.
Yes.
That act like them.
Yeah.
But the one in the middle needed to be free.
He had to get free.
Sometimes it's about life. We got dead weight. Some friends around us. Some family.
Beverly made this movie.
Us.
Yes.
That dead fucking weight.
Yeah, I agree with this. Yes. Yeah. Dead fucking weight. Dead fucking weight. Dead fucking weight. Yes.
And the only way to move on and be separate
Jump in the train.
is for you to go by yourself. They had to go into the tracks to be separated.
Right.
Which is kind of harsh.
It's harsh, but it is.
But as an individual, you can make a decision.
Boom. Chop it off.
Walk the fuck away.
Walk the fuck away. Chop it off. Chop it off. Yes. All right. Okay. Thank you. Well, listen. Oh, don't worry about it. Listen. I want to bring up the two other people who are here who also worked on it. You'd recognize both of them if you watch very carefully, but one more than the other. But we all know who. Alex and Andrew, please come up. Okay, the normal one. And Alex shot it and helped construct the story of it. We all sort of made the story up. And are there any other cues? Again, cue, question. Anyone have an inquiry or a comment? Now's your chance, Emily.
What was the hardest part?
Getting spit on.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it was real spit. It was like a very cold night, and we were stuck on that train track for a long time because there was a problem with the train. So yeah, that was a tough night.
Tough night. Alice, what was your least favorite part of it?
My least favorite part was you on the train tracks. Remember?
Yeah.
We did it not actually on somewhere else. We shot it to look like we were on the train tracks, and I took a light and pushed it at you.
Yeah.
But we had like the closest thing we've ever had to an argument where it was like, would he believe me that it looks good enough?
No, I remember that because I wanted the train track to be wet because I thought it was going to be rainy, and you thought it was.
No one's gonna see it. It's like they're all gonna die at this moment.
Yeah.
If they're looking at the train tracks after this, we've done the worst thing in the world.
Right.
Like one of your brother just died. You're jumping on the train tracks, or somebody's like, oh, it's not wet. It's like it's not that type of movie.
It's not that type of movie, no.
So,
but I wanted it to be.
He did, but Beverly didn't. So look at that. Right.
Beverly didn't need it. No.
Yeah, I remember that tension quite well, actually. I remember it very well. I clock all sorts of tensions. Okay, listen. This thing is it's starting to curdle. You can feel it. I can feel it. We all sense that this is becoming a little bit self-indulgent, and we're going to turn the music back on shortly. But does anyone else? I should ask. I mean, does anyone else have any sort of a question? Hey, give it up for Christine back there. She doesn't want it. Yeah, you heard her laugh. Christina's the only person I know whose laughs get laughs. You have a very funny laugh because you're a very funny person. And is there anything else to say?
Yeah, I got a question. Can you talk about the technical, how you did the shot of going inside the body and everything? How did you make that happen?
I did it with stop motion, but I want to say something else. The guy who played music was such a drunk nightmare. The guy is a very talented guy. He's got a lot of charisma, but he is a unsavable alcoholic. I mean, he went to AA or whatever, or rehab. God bless him. But 4 years. After the movie, right when it counted. But listen to this. Right here, he comes and then the plan is, you're gonna play a song. Money was exchanged. This is a professional thing. Whatever, you know. Please play one song, and then we're gonna come up. It's during a live show, so we can't really, we don't want to do it twice. Like this is a moving thing to do. And the guy drinks 10 Jamesons here.
Oh, Lord!
Which
you should have just said cut.
I did. Well,
you should have just said we're not doing this.
I was in character. I'm an artist. No, you're right. I should have said cut.
Right after 10 Jamesons.
10 Jamesons. He was heckling everyone. He was throwing things. He was screaming. He was clapping. And all of his demons came out. And he just burned down all the credit with the host. Like, we couldn't do anything twice. And everyone was so agitated and horrified by his behavior. And not to mention, his voice came out like a squeak. I mean, he weighs like he weighs like as much as a confetti. Like, but after a party, if you swept it up in a dustpan, like he's a tiny man, drenched in Jameson. He asked for an advance. He asked for a financial advance, and he drank it in front of me. You know what I mean? And I stayed in character. I stayed in character.
You gave him the advance?
Yes. What? Why? Huh?
No.
Do I not look like a sucker to you? Would I get the advance?
Why would you give him an advance?
Well, I didn't know he was going to do that. I was trying, because he asked for it, I don't know. I mean, because I wanted him in the thing. He's a special guy. I didn't know he was going to drink it in front of me and then heckle our thing with it.
I'll volunteer to screen your actors.
Okay, yeah, it'd be great. Yeah.
I'll volunteer to screen your actors.
Yeah. His name's Josh Gashett.
Stop saying his name.
It's Josh Gashett. Okay. That's it. I think that's all. Is there anything you want to say? Anything else to say?
Oh, yeah. Give it up for Steve. I mean, it took a long 3 years to make the movie.
I had to smoke a lot of pot. That takes time. Let's keep rolling it, and then it's gone, and you gotta do it again. All right. Thank you guys so much. Let's.
Come on down There's a window that's almost clean. If you pal around with some blurred boys, then you know what I mean. They just keep switching to south these days, and it feels weird. Well, I never tried to justify a thing I've done.
Hey.
Yo, you won. Yeah. Honestly, this segment right here is just going to be you. I want to give you the floor for your addendum on that screening of what happened and what went down from your point of view.
Well, I wouldn't add very much to, I mean, there's nothing really to addend. It was fun, and it felt good to play the movie there at Essence. It was sort of what I wanted to honestly, I wanted to just to say thanks to the host and sort of show like a finished thing and be like, I meant well and I appreciate everything. It's not really that, dramatic, profound, or possibly even entertaining. But
I thought your addendum could have like elements of humor to it. That's why I asked. From who's your point of view?
What do you mean?
Just like it was objectively a funny like event within itself.
Yeah, I had fun. Yeah, I think it was a small, raucous, good time. I appreciated you being there, and everybody was like, "Who is that guy filming?" And I said, "That's Matteo." He just, had the drive and fortitude to show up with a camera and film everything and piece everything together. You're sort of a man of intrigue. A lot of people had a lot of questions.
By the way, I
it.
only did that because I thought it would be fun to do as a hobby.
Was it fun?
For me, yeah. It's like building model trains or puzzles.
You like to build trains?
When I was younger, I was more into airplanes and battleships, but it's the same shit.
You were very crafty about cutting up the tote bag and tying the joining the screen to the ceiling. You demonstrated engineering prowess.
Yeah, there's a lot of engineers on my father's side of the family, like a fuck ton of them.
Well, one more for the cavalry.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you, man. You were very helpful. I really appreciated it. You were sort of you surprised. I didn't know that you would want to do that, and it's really fun to watch the thing back. And anyway, blah blah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I can cut it now. Anyway, we've entered into the dialogue segment. I'm here with Scott McDonell, as a relative, but he's also county clerk. I believe one of the largest counties in America. Is it by land mass or population?
It's much bigger land mass. The population is about 600,000.
Okay. With that said, because you're county clerk, how often do you have to deal with real awkward interactions with guys that got to register as sex offender?
Good question. I occasionally get that. In my office, we do elections, but we do a lot of other stuff like marriage licenses. We do solicitor permits. Now, you're soliciting like solar panels or all kinds of stuff door to door, right?
Yeah.
And so they have to tell me if they've been convicted of any criminal offenses. And I don't care if it doesn't relate to you doing door to doors, but we'll get things like guns or sex offenders, and we're like, sorry, you can't go door to door in Dane County.
I just imagine from that, like, not that you get a lot, but you probably, as the elected position gets, you get some real, within that ballpark, either sex or criminal conviction, did their time and they're sprung. Some just real awkward interactions.
I had a guy show up at my office with an axe.
Like what kind? We're talking like a hatchet?
A full-on,
hatchet?
no, like a full axe.
Like a medieval kind of weapon?
Well, it was the kind you would chop a tree down in the woods with, not a hatchet.
Okay.
And he was there to get retribution.
That's what he actually said?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And he had and then he came to a forum I was at and said he was going to blow up my office building. And it was a little bit like, you could tell he was just trying to like scare people. I don't think he was that serious, but then at some point, when do you not take it seriously? You know what I mean?
Like after the first threats, it's only a matter of time till someone acts on said retribution.
Yeah, and he was threatening a lot of elected officials, not just me. And I was like,
was it both parties or just
no? Well, it was low. It wasn't party. It was more local. It was county.
Okay.
It was county based, and he was mad about a decision the county made, and he had mental health problems, and so
figures.
I felt kind of bad for him. He couldn't really control it, but at some point. But he ended up spending some time in prison for all the different threats he made, mostly because he threatened the DA.
That is a bad move for anyone.
Don't threaten the DA.
That's like something John Gotti was told not to do, and he didn't do it, but yet threatened and killed everyone else.
Yeah. Then no one was that worked up about me, but once the DA got But now, whenever he lives out in Washington State, and so whenever he gets within one state, I get an email like, "Okay, this guy's within one state now." FYI.
Wait, like Washington on the Pacific Coast?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm trying. What states are one state away? I can only think of Montana, but like that's.
No, if he gets to Minnesota or Iowa or Illinois, then I get.
I get an alert. I get that now. Yeah. Anyway, moving along. A few years ago, I think it was like 2020, Big Daddy Donald.
Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. What is that? Oh, Donald T, can't you see? Can't you see? You belong with me, endless ecstasy. Yeah.
When he sued you, or is that still an ongoing case, or has it been closed or dismissed?
No, that was dismissed. It didn't last that long because it really related to the 2020 election results, and that had to get adjudicated like right away. So that was over within about 4 months.
The only reason I ask, because as a county clerk, you're usually the person in those positions who appoint the servers. So did you serve yourself, or did someone serve you?
Oh, I got served. Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
From what department or brand? Was it like top down or bottom up?
It was a private service agency because the president wasn't suing me. It was the campaign. So
it's still interesting.
Yeah,
like paper.
definitely.
You know what P. Diddy calls that?
What?
Paper gangstering.
There was definitely some of that going on.
Okay, wow. Because in my mind, I was like the filing was like put in. So you're the clerk. You process it. So you do your thing when it has your information. Well, I guess I'm like writing my own information, having someone notarize it for me.
Yeah, I mean, it is true. We get people coming in serving papers all the time, and it is weird to get served yourself, you know. And I just, the whole thing about that was just this, how stressful. I mean, to back it up, that lawsuit wasn't terribly stressful for me. The weeks before that, when we had that recount, so the president only asked for a recount in Milwaukee and Dane County, the two biggest counties, two bluest counties in Wisconsin. And it was in the middle of COVID. There was no vaccine, and we had hundreds of people in one room, and half of them didn't believe there was a virus. So
how many of those people who didn't believe it are now dead? That's an interesting question.
Well, a lot. I don't know. One thing I will say is we were in a giant auditorium, like a big like one of those big convention halls, if you can picture that.
I can.
And they had the air handling at max. So there was like a light breeze going through there. The one thing about the virus at that point is it wasn't as contagious as it was later. Like later, it was more contagious but didn't kill as many people. Early on, less contagious, killed more people, right? So I think we kind of dodged a bullet because of how big the space, how much air was in that room.
I would agree. Was at least that room? Did you select a space or someone else did? Okay,
I did, yeah.
So I'm picturing if it was a convention center, was it like able to be a space that's hollowed out, almost like a gazebo?
Yeah, no, it was like 4 stories tall or 3 stories tall. It was like had all the and it was really wide, and we had plexiglass everywhere, and so it was spread out. So from that side of it, it wasn't bad. But then we're all eating together, and you know, it was stressing me out, I'll tell you. And I was getting it from both sides. Like the Trump people were yelling that was rigging the election. And then the Dems were like, everyone's going to die of the virus and you're killing everybody. How can you have this thing? And I'm like, I have to. It's in statute. It's in federal. I have to. There's no way out of it. You can leave. I can't.
That's true. You're not held hostage.
I'm the only one who has to be here.
You're being held hostage by the system.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, I was on your Wikipedia page, and I can't remember at all the exact narrative or exact storyline, but apparently in 2026, some ridiculous shit between you and Jill Stein happened.
2016.
Yeah. 2016.
Well, she requested a recount when Hillary lost to Trump, and she only got like less than 1% of the vote. But
of your state or nationwide?
Well, both.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if it was 1% nationwide. Hillary got the popular vote.
Obviously.
She won the popular vote. But in Wisconsin, she lost by like maybe 1 or 2 points. But Jill Stein only got 1% of that election in Wisconsin. But the law never really differentiated, so she was able to ask for a recount. By the way, they ended that like 3 months later. They changed that law.
That's really interesting you brought it up because, Jill Stein's party to this day, even then, hated her as the candidate.
Well, she hung out with Putin more than anyone else did.
I know. I'm saying, but compared to old school, more eco-socialists, both in America, Canada, and England,
right?
They all have a long-standing history of hating her.
Well, I'm not a fan either. So she grafted. So that was a grift. So I know we all think of the big steal and the big lie and all that, and Trump grifting some of this, but Jill Stein did it first. And she raised millions from Democrats, saying, "Oh, I'll overturn the results. The machines were rigged in Wisconsin and I think Pennsylvania," but she never pulled the trigger in Pennsylvania. And so she raised millions and millions of dollars. Then she pledged, "Oh, I'm going to give it all away." By the way, go look. Never happened.
I did.
So
I you know what's interesting about that though? When it comes to I have a few things I want to say about her in particular. In terms of like legitimate third parties that are across the country, there are only about 4. And in terms of all of them, I respect the Greens on the top. I have nothing but contempt for the DSA for so many reasons. The Libertarian Party, I'm ambivalent about still.
Yeah, that's how it always is. Both sides like half of whatever they say. It's kind of how that goes. So, yeah, I know. I'm not. I feel you. It's interesting. We have a sister county in Germany called Kassel. So Dane County, which is where Madison, Wisconsin is, has a sister county in Kassel. We go there, and the regular sort of party that would be the Democrats there, they hate the Greens like with a passion, because the Greens there like make all kinds of deals with the far right.
I know. That's,
not so much here.
No, but that's interesting because they're in Westchester County and in Yonkers City Council have multiple prominent city council members elected under green ticket. So that's like, and they don't do that here.
No, it's a German thing. I don't know what's going on, but they really get they get there's a huge amount of animosity there.
This is another question you would know better than me because Jill Stein's been grifting again, saying she's going to run for Congress. Not in any of the states she's really from. I'm assuming she's going to do it in I don't want to say problematic, but a state like Nebraska where it's easier to do that.
Oh, you mean as far as residency laws or whatever?
Like a Dr. Oz situation?
Yeah, I would struggle to see a Midwest state really going along with that.
The reason I bring this up, hypothetically, she does it eventually and let's just say wins. Because those smaller populated states, you know how things are with like that kind of stuff. There's also another guy in the Midwest, I can't remember what state, who's also running for Greens, who's a shorter, very much overweight black guy. I cannot remember his name.
I don't know.
So he's claiming if he gets elected, to Congress, he'll vote with the Dems. And Jill Stein, because she's so oppositional, I guarantee if she gets elected under Green, will vote with the Republicans.
Yeah, I think she'll do what some of these people do is vote to get attention. Like whatever that is to get attention.
Yeah, okay.
That's what they'll do.
Out of the two of them, the black guy who's running, I can't remember his name or state. I respect him a lot more, and I think he's actually doing it with more integrity and seriousness than the first one, Jill Stein.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're here. We are in New York, where Mamdani is mayor, and my kid, who's pretty far left, Sawyer, loves to talk about how sewer socialism is a Milwaukee thing and that everyone's talking about it now and it's all originated in Milwaukee. And the idea is that the socialists are not into the international socialist movement. They're into solving practical problems like water, sewage, cheaper
That's true.
utilities.
I'm going to get the international socialism is such a fucking grift. And I know who started it. And that guy at this point is... I know him personally. I want nothing to do with him. I've had him on the show in the past. I'm banning him because 1, he's boring. 2, he's toxic. And 3, he's pretty much... What's the word I'm trying to... He doesn't advocate for the alt-right, but he's almost an apologist for the alt-right. If you can tell what the difference I'm trying to say is.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's not like devil's advocate.
No.
Yeah.
I was also going to bringing up like just some other talking points regarding third-party stuff. I was shocked. It took me forever to find this information. I was able to. Regarding presidential runs, most historical websites, including Wikipedia, will claim only one person running for president whose third party got multiple electoral college votes, which is George Wallace. It's not true. There was one person after that.
Well, I don't know if Perot,
that's where I was going. He got one.
Yeah, I knew it would be close because I think he just did well in a lot of states, but not enough. But I think it was where there were split electoral votes.
I read On Wikipedia, it said that he, at that time, Texas was able to split votes, and he got an electoral vote from Texas.
Yeah, that would make sense since that's where he developed his company and everything else. So
anyway, so the reason to bring him up, I was only able to find. I didn't really look for it this week because I was just jammed with shit, unhinged things he said.
The dollar's gone through the floor. Now, whose fault is that? Not the Democrats, not the Republicans. Somewhere out there, there's an extraterrestrial that's doing this to us, I guess. And everybody says they take responsibility. Somebody somewhere has to take responsibility for this. Now, just for the record, I don't have any spin doctors. I don't have any speech writers. Probably shows. I make those charts you see on television even. That shows. Now.
My mother told me, like, one of the debates out of the 3 he did for president, he went on a fucking tirade. They had to cut him off. Like, his mic and stuff. Do you know what he said?
No. What I remember from that race was the crazy vice presidential debate where some general Perot put up was completely incoherent. And it was embarrassing. I remember that one. But I will say you were related to one of the national co-chairs of the Perot party. Perot, well, it's on through my mom's side. Nina, my Aunt Nina, who lived in Chicago, was one of the co-chairs.
Was she like a delegate or something? Or
no,
okay, wow.
like a chair of the campaign. There was a bunch of chairs, but she was the president of U of I Chicago, just like, well, your grandmother was president of was a Hunter, I think.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I was unaware of it. Like your side of the, I guess it's my. I'm so disconnected to it. I've said this as a joke so much. Like I may be like Anglo, but like I don't feel it. I don't look like. I look like someone Mark Wahlberg with a hate crime on.
You just look New York.
Yeah, but like you can be Anglo and look New York. I just don't feel like Anglo or whatever.
I feel you.
I want to get back to the Perot thing in this because what I found out even more interestingly about him was during that campaign. Apparently, from what my mother told me, I can't remember which debate where they cut him off. Had to be either the first or the second because one of the debates after he was cut off was delayed several weeks. Because they were afraid of him being a loose cannon on television.
Well, he definitely was a loose cannon, which was his selling point. I think he just wanted to talk about the deficit. He would just talk budget. He refused to do the social issue stuff or anything else. But he would say whatever. He was trying to be like this big truth teller. And, he was not a scripted politician. And that, we see that now in Trump where he's taking it to another level.
Oh, absolutely on steroids.
Right, but so Perot was sort of an early version of that, where he's like, "These guys are liars. I'm telling the truth."
And also, you said his VP pick was a general.
Yeah.
How many stars was a general, if you remember?
4 or 5.
That's interesting because in recent years, the most toxic, aggrieved pro-Trump military officials are always 3 stars or under.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. It's like Mick something. Well, I'm a Mick, so.
The reason to bring that up, we have obviously the easy one, Michael Flynn. Then there's this guy, there was a Navy captain who was starting beef with me on Twitter about a year ago. And he was convicted, I guess, like a month or 2 months of some prison system state for soliciting an underage girl for sex. It turned out to be a sting. So when he was trolling me, I said at his name, "I'd like you to meet a very handsome friend of mine, at Chris Handsome." Do you get what I did there?
Yeah, I got it.
You were getting, I remember a few years ago, it was definitely in 2020, you were getting a lot of hate mail.
Yeah, some.
Was it mainly digital or?
Yeah.
Nothing.
I got a bunch of postcards. This one guy would send me a hate postcard and then he would wish me Merry Christmas and stuff. It was like, oh.
Very strange. The only reason I'm asking is was that hate mail usually isolated to one platform more than others?
Well, at the time, it was more Twitter. And
figured, yeah.
And a little, because Facebook, you have to kind of identify yourself. And what these people want to do is hide.
Yes.
So the main forms were Twitter or Proton email, direct email.
Hotmail.
And then I did get I did get these postcards from this one guy who would buy. I swear he would buy these postcards. I don't know where he bought them, bulk or something, and they had like trains and stuff on it. I'm sure that it was totally random. But I was sort of like, where do you get bulk train postcards?
The internet.
.com or whatever.
The internet, Walmart, Etsy.
I don't know. But I always thought it was odd. And
no, I've bought in like custom like artists postcards on Etsy for people like I follow who are graphic designers. A while ago, one of these designers I follow who's like a New York artist was selling like a stack like this big, like a, let's just say 85 bundle of his print. It was for like $180. And I'm like, because he printed it himself and cut it.
Mm.
So imagine if this guy's buying like some custom artists shit, probably not, but even wholesale like Costco, it's still a lot of money.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I learned is he was mailing these sort of hate postcards to a lot of people. They were
usually people like
they
that.
Were mostly
Usually
anti-immigrant. And they were. He wasn't cursing or threatening to kill you, but it was more like you're a traitor. It was like.
I was saying usually when people mail shit out, like it's been documented through like psych stuff from the FBI over the years that they're usually sending it to a bunch of fucking people in their list.
Yeah, they don't usually send it to one.
No, like example to being the Unabomber being the worst case scenario.
Yeah, no, he had multiple correspondences. So
yeah,
and I mean. That's what's kind of scary sometimes. You get somebody that smart who starts to get fixated. They can cover their tracks like in an impressive way. So, but yeah, I mean, like, and that was part of the problem with some of these threats is these anonymous email ones is they're really almost impossible for law enforcement to trace.
Yeah, because the people say they're using
Proton or whatever,
or VPNs and shit.
Yeah, there's no. It's a dead end. And then the problem is that the police, they get so many reports of these things. Ex-boyfriends or whatever it is, million, and they just sort of roll. I mean, like they're basically like, well, we can't possibly respond to all these, and so we have to have like meetings where we say, look, when you're threatening election officials, you got to go the extra yard here because it isn't just attacking this person; they're attacking the system.
That is a very good point of putting it that way. Can I tell you my insane conspiracy theory that I have no information about or evidence, but I think it's true? I deeply believe that Trump won Pennsylvania and Michigan solely by fraudulent means. And this is how I think he did it.
Okay.
He had select people in a group pocket. He was talking with him and Musk and using magnets, like magnetized ink on their pen. So when it processed the machine, it made it all haywire.
No, you would see that in something called. Well, if you said haywire, what can happen is you get 2 votes cast for or no votes cast. So you would see that in the totals as an unusual anomaly. So we look for what they're called overvotes or undervotes in that case. So we look for those, and then we actually hand count and audit. We go through and count. A percentage of the ballots and look at them by hand and make sure they match up with the results. So those are, I think a simpler way to view it is that there is dark human nature that comes out in the privacy of a polling booth.
Yo, I'm aware of that. So you're saying my theory with magnetized ink not good?
No.
My second theory was with magnets, but on people's pockets to get close enough to the machine when they're putting it in.
It just wouldn't do anything to
you
the
don't think
machine,
so?
No.
Because I was thinking that shit a good 6 months before people on Reddit started saying it.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of theories that were really stupid that I heard. Some of them are better than others. Something about Nicaragua or Chavez and all that stuff. That was ridiculous. But there was a legitimate, what they do is they take something that happened and then they go too far with it. But if you use a Sharpie, it can bleed through to the back side. The only problem with that is what's on the back side that you care about. It's usually local races and stuff. So, but then the fear is, I'm using the Sharpie on the back side, it bleeds through the front side, and that could affect it. But the machines are designed
to read it,
to not line up the ovals.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and so the way to think of your ballot when you fill in an oval, you're just creating a QR code. It's not reading the name.
No, I know. It's an early IBM machinery with the dots being punched in.
Exactly, except by ink instead of by a dot.
Yeah, so you're saying the claim people were saying on Reddit about like specialized ink having like rare metallic metals in it, like tattoo ink.
They could. Well, we had people try to use the glue stick that you're supposed to be sealing the envelope with to try to vote with. And I always try to be like, are they going to put little sparkles on there and like fill it out? Like, I don't know what they're doing.
Oh, wow, okay.
But it won't read glue. But I will tell you the modern machines that were bought after Gore, Bush, right? A lot of money got spent to upgrade equipment and help
That's
America.
fair. No,
the Help America Vote Act. And the machines that came along after that were just
they're like
much
top notch,
better than the crap that was out there before.
Well, the only reason I brought this up, I was thinking, I never said anything because I have no proof or evidence. You would have it way better than me. But it is true that if you have a piece of paper and you pour a bottle of tattoo ink from a tattoo parlor and put a magnet under it, it has enough minerals in it for like staying permanent on your skin to move around with the magnet.
Sure, but it would just be the machine would kick that out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
then everyone would be looking at it like, what the hell is that? Yeah,
Interesting.
It would reject it, and then everyone would be staring. All the poll workers would just be staring at it. And then they would try to figure out what it is, and what they do is they do a remake. So if they can see how they think the voter was trying to vote, they'll make a clean one, and everyone will initial it.
You know, I am so excited that you, with the inside knowledge that you have, saying this theory out there is bunk. Because I have found no other podcast what's like addressing it, and the fact that I did, I just feel really good about it.
Anytime you see one, just shoot me a text, and I'll help you with it in the future too. So, actually one of the videos I sent you, Chad Vader videos, talks about the security of the machine. So check it out.
Oh, I will
post a link or something.
I probably will post those on Twitter like within the week after. Anyway. I always do with every guest I have on here a dialogue of exactly 30 minutes, as we just did or so. So, Scott, tell me, do you got any like stuff you got to plug or any agenda to finish off this segment?
Well, just in short, I mean, like when I started 14 years ago in this job, it was hard, but not that crazy or whatever. But since the last 6 years or so, it's been like I have to worry about fentanyl being mailed back into my mail, bomb threats, doxing, physical threats to clerks and election officials. So it's just become a lot darker, like version. Like you know how like in Harry Potter the last
four
books, last two were a lot different than the other one.
Oh yeah.
So we're in the last two right now, and but I do, and then now the FBI just showed up in Milwaukee and asking the state election commission questions, just like they did in Fulton in Georgia and
was Kash Patel with them?
No, I don't think so. He's probably passed out in the bar or someplace.
You already beat me to the joke.
Yeah, But well, he's got his own liquor.
Yeah, no,
I feel like I should get my own bourbon now. What do you think?
You know, it's actually not that expensive to get your own like product of cigar or liquor out there.
Yeah, because really they're just giving you the generic bourbon.
Yes.
And then they slap a label on it.
No, but by law, that's not. They can't really do that in this country. They have to add like a specific flavor or spice to it for like patenting issues. So like,
sure.
Yeah, you can get like a
chai or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Chai bourbon.
Exactly. The only reason I brought up Kash, I was gonna bring this up real quick. Forgot. I often once a month check your Wikipedia page to see if people are trolling you. Pretty much not an issue at all. Lately, I go to Kash Patel's Wikipedia page 3 times a week. The shit being inserted in there, just wild stuff coming from the right and the left.
Yeah, I mean, I love Wikipedia. Actually, Sawyer, your cousin, is like a power user on Wikipedia, like pretty high up on the whatever the food chain is. But maybe that's why nothing happens to mine. But Yeah, no, I've actually become kind of a donor of Wikipedia because it's such a good source. But I don't know. Sometimes people, it can be funny when they say Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears or whatever. But I kind of wish people wouldn't do that.
It's fair. It's fair. I was going to finish off one last statement about that.
See, I worked in that Packer dig, so I got
Oh, I know, and it was impressive.
Thanks.
In terms of, you said, like getting fentanyl in your mailbox, how did that look, and how did you know it was fent?
Well, we didn't get it. Went to Washington State, so there was someone mailed it to multiple locations on the West Coast where it was white powder, and it turned out some of it wasn't fentanyl and some of it was, I guess. And then this alert went out to every other election officer, and generally it was the concerns of the purple states, the one,
swing states,
and especially the blue parts of the purple states tend to be the targets.
I recently, how in Google you can type in a keyword search to like see where it originated by year and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I typed in recently on Google keyword years by use fentanyl prior to fall or August 2018. Non-existent in the lexicon.
Yeah, no, it's real. And what you learn is that a little bit of fentanyl isn't gonna like aerate and just kill everybody like it's ricin or something. And so the post office will give you this cheat sheet to look at, like, is there too much postage? Is there no return because they don't want the fentanyl returned to them? Like there's these little tip-offs.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
So then we started to educate our staff. Like, okay, if you see anything like this, and so the funny thing is, immediately they started just bringing these things back to me. Thanks.
Wait, so you're like, okay, so because of that, you're the county clerk. You handle the documentation. So in all of ways, you would be handling that mail. So do you put it in a garbage bag to give to the feds to deal with? Or?
Yeah, we put it in a plastic. I mean, we just literally put it in a Ziploc. If we see the things that you are looking for, like it's taped shut.
Oh, I know.
There's no return. There's too much postage, blah, blah, blah. Then we just put it in a
So
Ziploc.
are you usually the middleman when it comes to like illicit shit in the mail?
Well, yeah, my staff, they see it, they put it in a Ziploc, and they bring it to me.
No, even besides, it could be other stuff that's illicit.
But the thing is, sometimes what that is, I mean, everything I just described to you is what people be worried about. But that could also be an overseas student trying to make sure their ballot gets back.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
So then that's why they bring it to me, and then I look at it, I'm like, I think it's the ballot. I'll look at how heavy it is.
Yeah.
Oh, is this like, because we have, University of Wisconsin-Madison has students all over the place. We have people in the South Pole, like at the research center. And so that isn't completely weird. So they just bring it back, and then I just take a guess. Like, nah.
The reason I brought up the middleman thing is like I only learned this recently from an older episode of Law and Order. They had like just some guys sending like drugs and gats that were like in the mail. They gave it to the clerk, and the clerk's I don't want to fucking do. The FBI doesn't want the garbage bag.
Yeah, I think we can also get Madison police to have their dog check it out. And
no, obviously, I'm just because like I'm just in my mind because
it could be someone's ballot or
exactly.
I'm not going to throw something in a garbage bag.
I understand that, but I'm getting at like so the mail department or post office gives it to you, and then so you are the middleman.
They do intercept some of that stuff.
Oh, okay,
I don't want to say they do nothing. Although lately what they've been doing is sitting on ballots. So like this last election, we got way more ballots on the day after than we have ever had before. And so something's going on there.
Obviously, I'll leave it and cut it off right there and let everyone think about that in the ether. Anyway, this episode, to close it out, I created a little gag segment of the most unhinged things that came out of presidential candidate in 1992, third-party candidate Ross Perot's mouth during the debates of presidential debate 2 and 3. People during that time period thought he was off his fucking rocker. So I went through and picked out what I thought were his most unhinged statements and set them to a proper tune of music. The only reason I really thought it would be funny to close out on this segment is because within that dialogue I had with Scott McDonell is how much we discussed his presence that once was in America. So that being said, let's let this gag segment roll, and you know the rest.
right at the top of my agenda, and we have a strange situation because we have, so you've got to create jobs. There are all kinds of ways to create jobs in the inner city. The facts are, the American people are hurting. These people are hurting in the inner cities. We're shipping the low-paying, quote, low-paying jobs overseas. What are low-paying jobs? Textiles, shoes, things like that we say are yesterday's industry. They're tomorrow's industries in the inner city. Let me say, in my case, if I'm out of work, I'll cut grass tomorrow to take care of my family. I'll be happy to make shoes. I'll be happy to make clothing. I'll make sausage. You just give me a job. Put those jobs in the inner cities instead of doing diplomatic deals and shipping them to China where prison labor does the work.
Mr. Perot, everybody thought you won the first debate because you were plain speaking and you made it sound oh so simple.
If you asked me if I could fly a fighter plane or be an astronaut, I can't. I've spent my life creating jobs. It's something I know how to do. And very simply in the inner city, they're starved. See, small business is the way to jumpstart the inner city. I've listened to both sides, and if they would talk to one another instead of throwing rocks, I think we could get a lot done on any program, and this includes crime. You'll find we have all kinds of great plans lying around that never get enacted into law and implemented. I don't care what it is, competitiveness, healthcare, crime, you name it. Brady bill, I agree with that it's a timid step in the right direction, but it won't fix it. So why pass a law that won't fix it? Now, what it really boils down to is, can you live? We have become so preoccupied with the rights of the criminal that we've forgotten the rights of the innocent. And in our country, we have evolved to a point where we've put millions of innocent people in jail because you go to the poor neighborhoods and they put bars on their windows and bars on their doors and put themselves in jail to protect the things that they acquired legitimately. Now, that's where we are. We have got to become more concerned about people who play by the rules and get the balance we require. One last point here. I decided I was dumb and didn't understand it, so I called a who's who of the folks who've been around it. Right. No hedges, no ifs, ands, and buts. I'll take the pledge because I know the American people want to talk about issues and not tabloid journalism. So I'll take the pledge and we'll stay on the issue. Now, just for the record, I don't have any spin doctors. I don't have any speech writers. Probably shows. Say, what you see is what you get. If you don't like it, you got two other choices, right? May I finish?
Yes, you may finish.
Very briefly?
Yes, very briefly.
And we'll be listening to, I said the other night I was all ears, and I would listen to any good idea. I think we ought to do plastic surgery on a lot of these guys so that they're all ears too, and listen to you. Then you get what you want, and shouldn't you? You paid for it.
It was the best of times. It was I say worst of times. And by worst, I'm talking as bad. I say as bad as my Aunt Jenny's corn pudding. That stuff will sink you like a stone. I just added that last part. It's called ad-libbing. Yeah.
I said I'm a chicken, boy. Rooster, that is.
Thank you, Mr. Perot.
That's the show, everyone. You know what I'm going to do? Cut it with the original Letusbeidiots podcast outro music.
Danger! Representing on Let Us Be Idiots podcast. Let's go. Lou B, you be raw, that's a real gig. But I'ma stay a fool, so let's be idiots. I'ma stay a fool, let us be idiots. I'ma stay a fool, let us be idiots. They ask me how I do it, keep them coming with that hot flame. Names take the reins, act a fool with my pen bangs. Only place I do it is the show that gets the silliest. Tired of being stuffy, so I say let us be idiots. Y'all about to know that I'm the monster with the sick flow. Call me PMS, probably millions stacking, no. Let's go, drop lava rocks, burning infinite. Keep these bastards angry bastards just don't give a ish. Lighten their ways up, bring the real deal. I feel we too much, make them all squeal. Molehill in my clutch, make a mountain now. Lou be lighting it up, got you saying well. Lou B, you be raw, that's a real gig. But I'ma stay a fool, so let's be idiots. I'ma stay a fool, let us be idiots. I'ma stay a fool, let us be idiots.